tractors, monster trucks, and the Budweiser boss. This is the Ford Budweiser United States Hot Rod Association Truck and Tractor Pull Championship. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we've got a whale of a show for you tonight. I'm Bob Kurtz, along with Mike Gallaway, and it seems like everybody's here.
Bob, it's going to be a great show. We're working on 180 foot of track, and it's probably the best track in America. We're pulling a big sled, operates around 40,000 pounds, works through a series of gears and transmission. Tractor class, we've got Dusty and Art Arfons, the twin jets of Art Arfons. They're going to be powerful. Dusty will be here, and she could definitely be a contender for the championship. And then we get into some wild and crazy monster truck action. It should be a great evening with lots and lots of action.
What do you look for in the pulling competition?
Got a lot of good pulling trucks here tonight from all over the country. 6,200-pound modified. The track's been good. They're going to have to really work for their money tonight.
You talked about the Arfons. They always thrill the crowds.
It's a 7,200-pound modified class, and it's going to be tough for the Arfons. They could be top contenders, but there's 2 or 3 other tractors here that you can definitely watch to be winners.
And the monster truck, that's what the folks pay the money for.
Oh, the monster trucks are great. 4 of the finest monster trucks in America. They should really put on a show for the people tonight.
And we'll close it all off with the Budweiser boss.
What can you say? Gary Collins, the Budweiser boss out of El Dorado Springs, Missouri. Probably the toughest 4-wheel drive pulling truck in America.
All that and more, so stay with us. This is the Ford Budweiser United States Hot Rod Association Truck Pull Championships. Tonight's Ford Budweiser United States Hot Rod Association Truck and Tractor Championships are brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Bob Kurtz, Mike Gallaway, all set now to move into the 2-wheel drive truck competition.
Starting off with Butch Schultz out of Mantua, Ohio. And this gentleman has something that there's very few of in America. That's a supercharged Ford motor. Butch is a Ford fan from the word go. He runs a body shop in Mantua. He's a perfectionist. The truck is absolutely perfectly straight, probably a lot straighter than when it came from the factory. Oh, even though they come from the factory extremely nice. This truck has just been worked to the inch degree. Then a beautiful black Emerald paint on it. Magnum Jr., Butch Schultz, a big, strong, supercharged 572 motor. And Butch is running right at the top of the competition on the championship in this 2-wheel drive class. He's going to be somebody to reckon with tonight.
Well, Magnum Jr., driven by Butch Schultz.
Well, Butch does a great job. He drifted towards the left-hand line, and he can't touch the line and be out of bounds, burning off a little excess fuel. So he was burning it, drifting towards that sideline. He didn't want to back out of it, didn't want to touch the brakes because that'd lose some momentum. So he just went ahead and rode it just as far as he could, set it down right there at the last, and it was a nice run for Magnum Jr.
There's your measurement now for Magnum Jr. to get us started in the 2-wheel drive truck competition. 180 feet, 5 inches. You're looking at Riceburner, which is a Toyota. Bill Romsberg, out of Alverton, Pennsylvania.
1987 Toyota truck with a 516 Chevrolet in it, and this is an absolutely beautiful truck. Only Toyota body truck we have in this new 2-wheel drive class. It is something extra. A brand new truck, been out about 5 times. Each time he comes out, he just goes further down the track, watching to be a competitor to win.
Had a rough pull there.
He did. He went towards the left-hand line, and there was a sheer case where he had to touch the brake on the right-hand side to bring it around. And when that happened, the sled was already topped out, and the momentum just absolutely took the footage away from him tonight.
Take a look here, Mike. Watch on the 2-wheel drive competition now how fast that weight transfer machine comes up the sled.
Well, these trucks weigh 1,000 pounds more than the 4-wheel drive. The front end's up. Right here, Bob, you see him drift to the left-hand side of the track. He's turning the wheels, but that just doesn't do any good. And he touches down, hits the right brake, jerks it around, but look at the box. It's already topped out, and the momentum is going for him. That shuts the beautiful Riceburner truck down.
See the Riceburner coming up a bit short, 154 feet, 4 1/2 inches. Well, here's the West Virginia Kool-Aid Kid, Bobby Johns, who makes his home in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Bobby drives a 1986 Chevrolet S10 with a supercharged 482 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. Before Bobby got into pulling, he was a bowler, a professional bowler for trade, and he's also been very active in drag racing for quite some time, and now turns over to the supercharged class of the two-wheel drive. And Bobby's a very fine competitor. Now, he runs a little bit wider tire than you've seen in the other trucks so far tonight. This is a tire built by CPEC especially for this class. Watch Bobby Johns. He's going to ease into it.
Strong run for the Kool-Aid Kid.
Very good run for Bobby Johns and the Kool-Aid Kid. That blown Chevrolet motor's working, but he hurt the engine right at when he shut off. That motor had some problems. You see the smoke coming out of it. Look underneath it. There's a rod going out of it, or something severe has happened. He has broken engine in the Kool-Aid Kid. Fortunate for Bobby Johns' sake, he did it at the end of the pull. Bob, here's a shot of Bobby as he's going down the track. The front end's coming up. Balance on the truck is just perfect. I mean, it's a beautiful pass. The front end's up a little bit, about 3 foot off the ground. Now watch Bobby as the weight box is on him. He begins to slow down. When the truck settles right about this time, right here, motor goes up, and right there, see the sparks and the parts come out from underneath the truck. It was an expensive run for Bobby Johns out of Wheeling, West Virginia. I've got to go back, though, because I believe Bobby has broken a transmission. Looking at the color of the oil on the track, and that is transmission parts. So Bobby Johns lost some transmission parts right there. And, hey, transmission, you're only talking about $3,000 or $4,000 to be back in business.
Well, we have a new leader now in the two-wheel drive truck competition. The West Virginia Kool-Aid Kid has gone 188 feet and 4 inches. That's better than 8 feet better than Butch Schultz in Magnum Jr. Well, we hope you're enjoying all the pulling excitement here on television from the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, but probably the best seat in the house is not the one you're sitting in your living room at the moment. It's the guy driving the sled. That has got to be a wild ride. Mike Gallaway went down and found out what goes on back behind the sled.
I'm with Darrell Ellenbaum, the man that's got the best seat in the house, but he's not here for rest and relaxation. Darrell, it's work time when you do this. What are you actually doing back here on the back of the sled besides having a good time?
Well, I control the sled. I can stop it if I have to if something's wrong. You set the gears for each class, and then you run through the whole class. This is a motorized sled, so you can drive it back to the starting line. And there's a lot of things you can do with this sled that a lot of other ones you can't.
But Darrell, you have the controls at your hands. If something was to go wrong and you needed to shut a vehicle down or stop the vehicle, maybe it got a little wild or out of hand, you could do that, couldn't you?
Yes. This button right here is a kill switch. That will shut the motor of the tractor off. These 2 levers here are the brakes of the sled, which I can stop the tractor with the brakes. These here 2 stop the box.
Dale, there's got to be some wild rides going on out there. Do some of these guys take you on a pretty good ride?
We've estimated, we've had a police car sitting at the end of the track. We've gone through the 300-foot line 30 miles an hour behind some tractors.
Well, that's got to be a wild ride, and Darrell Ellenbaum is going to take it off.
Driven by Bob Bauman. We saw his wife Pam earlier in the competition. Not this competition, but the four-wheel drive truck competition.
Boy, this is a beautiful truck. Bob Bauman makes his home in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, and it's a lowrider S15 Jimmy. It sets right on the ground, and the body work and the things that they've done to this truck is just unbelievable. Not a flaw in the truck anywhere. The back part of the truck has been widened. They've actually split the body and added a piece in the body to let it come out and set down over the tires and give it that beautiful lowrider effect. And, you know, Bob Bauman not only has a beautiful truck called Tel-Star, but this truck has really been running extremely well. He has been an absolute terror in this two-wheel drive class, and we can see if he could get up there around the 188 feet 4-inch mark. Bobby Johns owns the lead. Let's see what happens as we get ready to run Bob Bauman's Tel-Star. This is a big supercharged 470 Chevrolet.